Broadcast live.
Siyakubona-ke manje.
Siyakubona, yabona. Hey, sibonga isignal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, it's started again. Ruff Sjava, special announcement today about the cartel. Ngicela ningitshele ukuthi lento leyo ukuthi nicabange ukuthi ngicabanga ukuthi nisebenze no2 isuka kuphi lenkulumo le yini.
Okay, ngicala mina and say for me I think since I met Mfanafuthi when was 20
the first time we met was 2011.
Yeah, you understand, and going forward ukuvezile ukuthi umuntu engathini engamthemba, because even for us to be where we are today, you understand that it was him. He's like the engine of this whole thing. He's the one was finding Jeleni. You understand? Kahle siyama artist wakhe thina nabo MT. You understand, in real life. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, I've seen him handle that kahle. You understand? And as you know, in the industry, abantu abasathembakala, and for me, akekho omunye umuntu that I'd really do this with. You understand? Because if ngakhumbula where we come from as the ATM, we're from Josie CBD, Dogmore, which maybe around now Ruff, no Swati King Kong. Understand? So that's where we're from. And now the plans that he had, you understand, bands and just create dope music, you understand, and keep the movement going, you understand, and we want to carry on with that actually with 1020 Cartel. Last us corner before we made the mistakes that we made, you understand, to say, but this was the plan, so let's go back to the plan later and carry on doing what we're doing. So I should know to me, or maybe making more money that makes me a leader. You understand? It's still Mfanafuthi who's gonna run this thing. You understand? And then Tina will do what we gotta do. But he's the one who has the mentality for a long time. You understand? It's like it was quite a camp. No strong point that when you combine it, you put something. Okay, how are you gonna get it on radio? Verse to make the song dope. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah. So for me, why I teamed up with Mfanafuthi, those are the reasons. Yeah.
So between is man that okay, ATM and then it's a 1050 cartel, 1020 cartel, 1020 cartel. I'm gonna ask about the name, where the name comes from. If someone literally like asks what's the difference between the ATM and the 1020 cartel, what would you guys say now?
The 1020 it down, yeah, Masasha it down. There was the unity beslalabuye was 1020. So there I think you la sahlangana khona sonke, to be honest. Yes, sahlangana khona MT, Java, Saudi, about ranks, about Sims, like everyone. That's where we met. So everything was formed there in that room.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why we've been using the 1020. But the main thing was the ATM. But the 1020 has been there.
ATM is a movement.
Yeah.
So we still ATM, you already know that's forever. You know what I'm saying? But the business, yeah. 1020 Cartel, that's where we're running the business from and everything. But ATM is still the gang, will forever be the gang. And that's our movement. Namachito MT's got MT Records, working Nabo Kumkani, Nabo Loli, you understand? He's doing his own thing. Yeah, Vusaud and Monopoly of Low, you know what I'm saying? But it's just good, okay, assistant some, but we're still moving the same way. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
We plan things together.
We plan everything together. Okay, madoda khamba kanjani ngalapha. Bathini lapha. Okay, akunankinga. Okay, spondise la. You know what I'm saying? So that not get to grow and everything. But the whole movement, ATM, it's still there and will forever be there. That's the difference between the two.
Okay, so you're still working together with Saudi's Monopoly, MT's
Yes,
Records, and
yes, definitely.
1020. Young Clegis of managed 1020, not to be snent on a squatter cap, ngoba best recorder a number 100 endlini like endlini of lam number 100. So Kuluma said no 100, that's 100. Man, when Masisenzingo made studio like a studio. You know how this monga span studio circle like backjack and his card, single mayiko mnandi. So says it only carpet at 100 tingo lili. Yenza kutimingo ibe sona so. Yama number, ama number into a corner, you know. So who the artists that are signed on the label 1020?
The artists that are signed under the label, we have Sam, who's a poet from Mnambi Tiwahlati, and then we have Mzukulu. I bet you know Mzukulu, obviously coming from the maskandi scene.
Yeah.
All the way from Olundi Waceza, and we have Anzo. Is a rapper and a singer. And we have Yallunder from Epizani. She's a singer, opera singer, cum laude on that. Yeah. So those are the people that are serving Sana now under the label right now.
Is there a reason there's like less rappers and more traditional kind of artists or mixed with traditional? And like now, Ruff, as a producer, are you learning Klaliskini? What's happened? Is there a reason of that selection?
I think our focus, Netine, is just about the music. If we see a rapper, let's believe he can do something different, and let's say something different in the industry, we're gonna get him on board. So we don't care who people are in.
Yeah.
But for now, those are the people we think they fit Lente Zamuyenza.
Yeah.
Lente Zamuyenza manik nigigama yin besides the label musically in Lente Zamuyenza, what are you trying to achieve?
Okay, music wise, it's still the ATM sound. Yeah? But right now we're trying to make it better. You understand? It sounded better than what we've been doing in the past years. So, I think that's the whole point.
Yeah, to stay improving the sound and coming with new ways. You understand?
Yeah.
For example, we have.
Correct.
For example, on the project, we have Babu Matalagnen. So Babu Matalagnen is a legend. He plays indigenous instruments. So instrument asifakele yona laphana kule ngoma esisebenze nayo kuyo sifakele isitorotoro. There's an instrument called isitorotoro. It's like beatboxing, but in an African way. So it's like very spiritual the way it sound yakhona iphuma ngakhona and the beatboxing in it. And then was udlala nama guitars, then wasifakela neintambo on that song. You know, izinto ezifana nalezo is to really show the young guys ukuthi we need to go back to our legends because kunezinto abanazo ezespecial ezinga-exist in our generation now. You understand it? You ngeke ngithi ngokhe pram and find a nigga a petty store and say, yo, check this out. You understand? It's not in our space.
Yeah.
Because every time we make music, sihlangana sodwa as youngins and not go. And I feel like for us to be able to compete worldwide, nanokuthi umculo wethu bene substance nesiqi kumele sibuyele back to baba. You understand? And that's the only way, because now Americans, ama-sample wabo, it's them going back to their legends, basically.
Yeah.
You understand? And nathi we wanna go sample corner lapho, whereby we have so much in terms of the sounds. When you say it's African trap music, with the African in it, the trap in it, you understand? So mixer zonke lezo zinto abanga, because Mfanafuthi is on the production, bamadala kunena udlala isitorotoro nesiginci, then you have Mzukulu coming in ngama vocals or maskandi. So you understand that whole mixture, you know what I'm saying? It's something that doesn't exist, but it really kind of gives the improvement to the sound and what we're trying to achieve.
For people who literally like, and I use this example, I always used to say, you know, when Zola came out, you heard a lot of people who started saying Kulova, and there was like, sorry, what? Say what?
I'm saying I'm one of those people.
Yeah, you know, so you know, definitely, you know, but like, I mean, you could even hear it on the mainstream. It seems like even when the recording companies were signing, they were saying that you must be quite like this, you know.
Yes.
It's I feel that like it's what's happening with the ATM sound right now, you know, where like I'm hearing a lot of people who are sounding like the sound. And my thing with you guys, how do you guys feel when you hear other people who are actually picking up the sound and are starting to also kind of interpret it in their own way?
You know, for me, Nane, I think that's all we wanted.
Yeah, that was the plan.
That was the plan. We would equal this whole thing. Because it dream me to us. It end up by Jando. If you go to Apple Music, you'll see ATM, pop, whatever. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
So if there's more people, that's good. I'm cool with that.
And now, I think if you can remember, we're actually talking about this thing, Dala, when you make ingoma that has a message, you were told Uguti and no, this angeki something.
I remember something happened to Utan.
Yeah, same thing happened to Utan. A lot of people it's not gonna work. You know, but something and you know, it was really like that, you know. And now marketing the little radio, listening to like young guys coming up, there's just so much positive music now,
especially
in South Africa. Understand that they making positive songs. Instead, Black Diamond, they making positive songs. Understand that they're coming out, they making, but like it's just positive music now. You understand? And seeing it happening the way it's happening, I mean, I don't lie to you. I'm happy about that. Yeah. And I reach out. There's a lot other artists where you can get on Facebook. ATM. You understand what I'm saying? And all the artists that are really on the come up and really about taking pride in their culture, I reach out to them and I support them. You understand? Just that people don't know that because not something that I do publicly. But I have been, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of kids who are really like following this path and making positive music. You understand? And that's the space. And it's Jabulani, you know, because that thing is really gonna improve music. You know, look at like now people have poets now. You know what I'm saying? Like on songs, which is something which kind of, when I was looking at the whole thing, which I'm a poet, they're so amazing. But now they don't have a platform. Then now it's becoming a thing to have a poet on a song. You understand? And it is into Zenza and sing young artists, babies adopt bezenza, abanye baze improve. Iyajabulisa lonto because that's the whole plan, to create a sound ezokwenza ukuthi kids can feel at home no matter where they come from. For example, I'll make an example ngo Lilo. There's a kid called Lilo who trap ngesindebele. You understand? When I saw him, I was like, wow. And we met them at the show in, I think it was Heritage Day of Mandebele, and they were performing. When they got on stage, like, yeah, ATM. I was like, yeah. Manya is dressed, he's trapping in his language. After stage, I spoke to him, like, I like what you're doing, so now I've been supporting him. went to work with Kwezi, and I told them, yo, now Mfana is making this music, language but akadlalwa station Sangabubo. Now, after that, our playlist even has a SAFTA now, a SATMA, South African Traditional Music Awards, you know what I'm saying? And having those hip hop now that can be at the SATMAs, they can be best hip hop at the SATMAs, and it's a traditional song. Yeah, Jablis and traditional. I want to understand when you say traditional. I say Cartel. Even Ilogish now is part of our tradition. We've seen it where they were like very passive, very hood, and everything was rapping was hood. And we want to see more of that happening than us in the industry losing that and having more young people trying to be American. You know, so Jay, the whole thing to answer the question is that we're really happy with seeing this happening.
That's dope. And like, you know, for me now, Indian Kutaza is that obviously I'm a certain age, but to see guys like Aubrey and even yourself, when we were your guys' ages, it's like you had to be be inspired. You had to look like you've got like the American thing right.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It was one of the conditions. You have to have the American thing right. And if we made a hip hop song, like whether you look at Clap Song or Moya, I mean, we had always had songs like Yallunder, like Take a Squatter Camp, where we never ever released that song as a single, but we knew that it was a dope song. But people then picked it up, you know, and radio just picked it up through that, you know, Ingo Messenger. I mean, we've got songs like, we've got a lot of songs in Squatter Camp where, like, you know, this is a samachit and we're in our emotions, but we never could release them. Even our Story to Tell, those songs were still songs where, like, they just got picked up and they were not like main hit singles, you know? And so for me, the reason why I say that is that it's so nice and warm to just hear that people have moved and you guys are literally taking that and you're literally saying, we are literally also like facilitating this movement further. And not only through that, but like through a sound that you guys have created, you know what I mean? And you're in support of everyone else actually adapting it and taking it further, you know? It's been the artist's dream. There's nothing worse than an artist who just comes and does the same song. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the same type of song. There's nothing that kills you as an artist than doing that. You know?
Yeah.
No, guys, that's incredible, man. We look forward, Gary. When is the first release, or who's your first release that you guys are going to be dropping?
Okay, on the project, what we're going to drop first, it's a project where Inabo Boy 4. iSambulo. So it's 10 songs. And then Ezu 4, it's where you get like each artist, you understand, whereby Yallunder Nengoma Yake, understand, that introduces her. And then the other 6 songs, it's collaborations amongst each other. You understand, to present it with, okay, here's the label, and here are the people we're working with on the label. Introduce these 2 things at the same time. And then after this tape, after this album, then that's when we're going to start releasing our solo projects.
Like singing.
Okay. Yeah, like singles and all of that, yeah.
Global is the plan, I see also, eh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, I'm actually like, I'm happy to see you guys making this movement. I mean, Java in particular, you know, regardless of everything you've gone through, it's just always nice to find yourself and just go, those are things that are happening outside, but in my mind and in my heart, this is where I'm at, you know? And I've always respected that, you know, to kind of like always be able to go back to and I think one thing you gotta always remember is that, like, as long as you create magic, people will be fascinated. And when I say fascinated, they'll be fascinated that they'll be bazoba amapa. Understand? Sometimes Baba Mapari to a point where like they don't respect the magician. You know what I mean? They start like trying to glorify the magic, and they don't respect the magician. You know, so I think that like you need to consistently remember that you are the magician. You know, you create the magic, and to be able to come back with Ruff and go, you know, he's the guy that puts us together and start this label. I know you're also working with the person that I've actually got a very good relationship with, Nothando.
Yes.
I mean, she's just amazing, you know. So I think that like your ways are gonna be, there's gonna be light in your ways, and I'm glad you guys are doing this. And Sjava, act, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, man, you've come far. You know what I mean? You've really come far. You've really come far. And like, and I like the fact that you really want to take it further with this new talent. Because if you look at me, whether you look at Ukwesta, you can imagine that like, if Kwesta's still around, if Note is still around, if Young is still around, that's part of my energy and part of my legacy. You understand? You are literally saying you're literally giving a legacy for more people to continue what you're doing. And Ruff, just being in the background and just sitting there, I'm just asking you, just stay focused. Do you know what I mean?
Thank you.
Stay focused. Usjava na uzokudina sometimes, and even the artists bazokudina, they'll frustrate you. But I think that you are the glue, and you're the one that puts things together. So you got to stay focused and don't get caught up in the hype. And vele like Instagram page, but yeah, you know what I mean? But you guys are the future of the music. Like, you know, there's these guys who are like 5 years, 6 years, 7 years that are gonna look at you guys as legends. And so you got to keep doing this. You know what I mean? What you guys are doing is amazing. 1020, the label is out. Make sure you look out for them. Mina ngifuna ukuvakasha lapha e-studio ngibe impukane nje ngihlale ngithule ngibheka.
We have something. I was talking to Ruff. We have something very esifuna ukuyipresent again, especially as the squad. You know what I'm saying?
The time is now, because isquad siyaspana manje. We actually like finishing.
Perfect. We're gonna send it. We're gonna send it.
Okay, Shab said ngihlangana namajita kusasa, siyahlangana kusasa. So yeah, you know, I mean, we wrapping up. I think we've got like 18 songs. We've been recording for 2 years or so. You know?
What?
Yeah.
I know. We'll definitely send the work. Perfect.
Sure. Yeah. I know,
Okay,
James.
thank you so much.
Good luck, man. Much respect. Keep fighting.
Yeah, man.
Keep fighting.
I know.
You know, God's children don't have it easy. Just remember that.
Broadcast live